The market continues to look bearish for Bitcoin. The trends are 100% towards the downside. So there's a whole lot that we have to look at in today's show, because if Bitcoin does leg down one more time, it is going to be pretty brutal for the altcoin sector. And we're going to evaluate which altcoins are going to be the best ones to be in and which ones are the worst to be in. If you look at the banter bubbles on the daily time frame, well, it tells all, right? You are seeing some signs of strength from the leaders of the market, most notably HNT, I guess because Telegram founder has now been released. You have TON also pushing up a little bit over there off of the key levels that we outlined in yesterday's show. So we'll relook at TON, we'll relook at a whole bunch of these different altcoins, but you can see the market is really bearish and the sentiment out there is totally shot. You have Arthur Hayes saying BTC is heavy. I'm gunning for sub $50,000 Bitcoin this weekend. I took a cheeky short, pray for my soul for 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗲, and we'll have a look at where some of those liquidation levels are for the shorts that are in the market currently, and a whole lot more. You can see also over here from Cook Capital. I unironically think it's over this time, years and years of crypto, and still serves no purpose, right? TradeFi markets are at all-time highs. The entire industry will be looked back on as a failed experiment. Insane prices have held this high until now. I really think this is the end of the final cycle. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? Do you resonate with this sentiment? Does it feel dark and terrible out there? Well, I'll remind you over here, if you look at the yearly time frame charts, this just gives you some perspective. This is typically how these cycles play out. Candle number one over here creates the ceiling, right? Candle number two initiates the bear market. Candle number three typically creates a bottom. Candle four, you break above the previous ceiling, and then candle one leads into major expansion into the next cycle, pretty much setting in that top. You lead into the bear market on candle two. Candle three is a consolidation year, and then candle four again breaks out above the price ceiling with candle one setting in the new cycle top. Candle two puts in the bear market. Candle three is consolidating, and candle four, you're looking for expansion above the ceiling into candle one setting in the cycle top, which would be next year, right? That would be the next candle, is candle number one. So that's just a little bit of a yearly perspective for you guys to all calm down. But at the end of the day, we cannot deny the trends, right? No man stands above the trend. The trend rules them all, right? So the trend is towards the downside on the total cryptocurrency market cap, total 2 as well, and total 3, as well as others, all of them expanding towards the downside. When you have price cap below the short, the medium, and the high time frame moving averages, that is a bearish posturing, a bearish trend, and you're looking for major support to be found underneath. So where are some of those support levels? Well, we're still eyeing out the possibility for this to be a big bull flag, which means that you have the lower portion or the lower boundary of the flag portion coming in on this green line over here, which is around that $52,000 to $53,000 region. You cannot rule out the possibility for wicks to come down below this level. All that we're looking for to maintain the posturing of this flag is that you continue to close candles above. Now, I've still left the pennant in. Remember, the pennant is slightly different. The pennant will be connecting these levels over here, but it's looking more likely that that will break down, and it's probably going to best fit the flag, which is the parallel channel essentially running towards the downside. Everything remains the same, right? Price below the 21 EMA is bearish. You cannot deny it. So what do you have to do? All you have to do is sit on your hands if you have a cash position and literally just wait for a break above this key level over here, which is $65,000. That will start to signal bulls have taken back control and it's safe to go long once again. That's all you have to do. Just wait for that. And if you look over here at the fear and greed, well, of course, it is justifiable that given the risk being towards the downside, the fear and greed, or the fear would pick up in these situations. But when the fear picks up into extreme fear, which is what we're seeing now, coming into the 22 region, that is where you do want to start to sit forward and pay attention, looking for opportunities to buy the next major support. It's mostly only the short-term holders that realize prices at 62,600. So those are the only guys that are really stressing over here and under major pressure. It's new people that joined into the market anywhere, I guess, between March. Most of them came in pretty much when the market started to get a little bit greedy and euphoric coming into March. We saw the funding rate go pretty aggressive. So those are the guys that are absolutely sweating right now, whereas the long-term holders' average cost price is much, much lower. Now, you typically go through these periods like you saw in September 2023. This is now September 2024, so exactly 12 months later, where you drop underneath that short-term holders realized cost basis price level in this zone over here, and you test them for a couple of months into that region, possibly for the rest of September, and then you break back above, shake them out usually, and then the long-term holders take back control. So this is perfectly normal within the cycles. We've been covering it for months now, the seasonality, looking for a major low between July, August, or even into September. Most of the major lows were made in September, with September historically being the worst performing month for Bitcoin and crypto, and leading into the final quarter of the year being the best performing quarter, and looking for continuation. Volume is still overall trending down, right? The daily exchange volume using a 7-day moving average over here suggests that the volume is overall diminishing, and we're still waiting for a turn within that sector. At the end of the day, Bitcoin is still the 6th top monetary asset in the world, coming in just below Japan over there. Above that's China, Eurozone, United States, and then gold with $14.81 trillion, which means that Bitcoin is a little bit of a black hole, which has the ability to suck up a whole lot of these assets into Bitcoin because of course, its global properties of how, it's also a hard asset, not bound by, or at least subject to money printing. I found this incredibly interesting, right? Bitcoin is now technically older than the stock market. Before you turn off the channel, just hear it out, right? Absolutely insane. Bitcoin older than the stock market. Let's just quickly see if I can move this into a better position over there. There we go. We have it over there. So if you have a look, this is the trading time for at least the equities and stock market. And here you have Bitcoin. Bitcoin now having traded for 123,774 active trading hours, whereas the stock market is 100,737 active trading hours. And the reason for that is, remember, Bitcoin is 24/7. So that is one major reason that now Bitcoin is theoretically traded more than the stock markets have, which makes it battle tested, right? Battle tested, plenty uptime, hasn't dropped. And we have the DXY, which is still coming down. This is all what we're looking for. So a little bit of a reconvergence back to the DXY. Usually there's a divergence between how the DXY is trading and Bitcoin and risk on assets are trading. They don't typically all go down together. So we're looking for the big breakdown over here. And as long as the DXY continues to come down over time, that should bode really well for crypto, right? So stock market still pulling back. Also, usually these trade opposite to one another. The stock market and the DXY comes down on a macro basis. The stock market goes up a whole lot. Right now, the stock market's also coming down. So we will wait for the divergence to take place once again. Coinbase is threatening this level. We spoke about that. That could mean a deeper flush down, right? 29%. Now it's a little bit less because it's already started to come down. So that would give you about another 27.62% before it hits the key level at 115 over there. This is pent up liquidity. It is a little bit of a warning sign the way this candle is currently forming. You would have wanted to see this hold up and continue up really quickly over there. So we're still holding on. We expect the chop and continuation of this consolidation, possibly all the way through September. The 6-month mark is actually on the 12th of September, and we're looking for a major low to occur between the 2nd and 3rd week of September. That is still currently in motion, right? Again, the levels to clear remain that 65,050, currently holding below your pivot level, which is at 57,000 as per the yellow line. And that just simply means the RSI is trending towards the downside, and all you have to do is wait for one level to get hit. It's either going to be look for the buy the dip opportunity into the key $52,000 region, or wait for the break above $65,000 above over here. Otherwise, this becomes a massive no trade zone, right? So no need to try and guess where things are going to be going. Just wait for price action to prove to you what to do next. This becomes a massive no trade zone specifically for Bitcoin. If you have a look over here, the 50 and 200 EMA continues to govern the trend towards the downside. Had you taken that trade, you would have already been in profit by 6 0.63% without leverage, and we're looking for the deeper move into the bottom of the range low. So you can see a lot of the market over here on the daily time frame, the deltas have gone negative. That's for Bitcoin, for ETH, for Solana, only slightly negative on Solana, just moved from positive to negative. We have Casper with very, very negative deltas over there. We have WIF with a slight negative, and then Render with extremely negative deltas, if you have a look at that. And the liquidity is definitely still, there is some liquidity towards the upside, right? You have 776 Bitcoin worth, which is $43 million, sitting at 51,000. So those are the buy the dippers. They're looking to buy the dip over there. And if you look over here, there is a large cluster of sell liquidity between 47 million and 47.5. So that is dropped there in whale room. And I'm still waiting for the funding over here to go completely negative. So although we're seeing some deltas flip negative, the funding overall hasn't gone completely negative. This usually presents a wonderful buy opportunity. As you can see over here, we saw it during COVID, we saw it during the FTX collapse, the USDC-D peg, and then also during the yen cash carry trade. So if we do come back towards the low of that yen cash carry trade and the funding goes negative, that presents yet another opportunity over there. If you look down towards those lower levels, we can also have a look, $52,000. There is buy orders sitting over there above $1 million worth of buy orders looking to defend that $51,000, $52,000 range low level. Now, if you are looking for a place to trade, guys, and you have not yet participated in the Cybertruck competition, just want to remind you, you have exactly 9 days and 6 hours left to go. This is raffle based. So if you sign up using the link in the description below, you automatically entered into the raffle. Based on the trading volume that you generate, you get a certain number of raffle tickets, and they're going to pull out the raffle draw to win the Cybertruck. It's valued, I believe these Cybertrucks are around, if I'm not mistaken, about $300,000. I think. At least that's the pricing in Dubai, because I actually had a look at them over here. So if you don't want the Cybertruck, it's fine. You can get the cash equivalent. They'll send you the USDT, or if it's not able to be shipped to your country for whatever reason. And then also to remind you, any whales out there that want to trade on Bybit, you can also simultaneously take advantage of the VIP campaign. So it's a new campaign. They have the VIP campaign. If you deposit $100,000 and you trade 8 million in volume, I know that sounds like a lot, but when you're trading in and out the market on leverage, your volume rakes up very, very quickly. To put it into perspective, if you're trading with $1,000, chances are that you've traded $1 million in volume over time, easily. So $100,000 deposit, 8 million volume, very, very easy. You will receive $5,000 bonus, and your fees will be capped to $3,200 with your $8 million in volume, or anything above that. You can't go above paying more than 3.2 in fees. So I've said it becomes an easy trade. You can deposit the money, and you can simply take a long and a short at the same time to become delta neutral, and then that will rake up the volume, and then you cash in the price. Very, very easy. Simultaneously, you then become entered into the winner Cybertruck competition with a whole lot of raffle tickets. All right, let's have a look. Bitcoin dominance pushing towards the highs over here. We're still waiting for some sort of a resolution. It will take time, but ETH is starting to look like it's in a decent zone. Let's cover why. We'll cover why in just a moment. One reason why is if you look at the RSI, and when it's near or in the oversold territory on the 3-day time frame, which is what this is over here, ETH will typically see a rally or just a short-term pump, which would at least lead into a lower high. And if you look at this over here, well, that's where the RSI is pushing down into these lower regions over here. And I wanted to have a look at this as well. This is probably a more important chart, because in terms of chart patterns, ascending triangles have a pretty high hit rate, right? And this is a massive weekly ascending triangle, which simply lines up with your 200-week moving average. Very, very significant level. We have temporarily lost that, but only short term, and then you immediately reclaim. So I do think ETH is one to watch, given the fact that the Bitcoin dominance is nearing its top over here, given the fact that the ETH BTC chart is nearing the bottom over here, and the ETH USD chart is coming back to test near those lows of where that wick was formed. That is your at least your major range low, given the weekly breakout over here of the ascending triangle, which you eventually came back into. So a lot of food for thought over there. Keep an eye out on that. If this does start to break, certain altcoins will get moving. We'll have a look at some of those. We'll look at the ones that are terrible and the ones that are decent. So smash the like button as well, guys. I haven't asked that for a long time, actually. Make sure you smash the like button. It really, really helps to get the show content out there. And let's have a look over here. So I am keeping an eye out on A0 just because it's forming a similar pattern to what we saw on Chainlink a long time ago when we bought Chainlink at $5.20 and we rode it all the way up to about $20. Remember, when it comes to A0, it's the first EVM compatible super chain using 𝗕𝗓𝗄𝗧, and it's currently holding this pattern out over here, creating the power of 3, right? So long-term accumulation, which is in this range over here, then leads into a downtrend, leads into the manipulation phase. Wait for it to break this downsloping trend line. If it can successfully do that and start to get back inside the range, which is above about 70 cents, that will confirm the deviation. That opens up the long opportunity, and then you're looking to bid that, right? So that's one to keep an eye out on. And another one over here, you have 𝗕𝗘𝗟𝗢𝗟 saying, are you ready to BTC.D, buy the effing dip on Aptos and then blow your sick gains at the club on bottles tonight? I'm not sure what the last part means, but 𝗕𝗘𝗟𝗢𝗟, then you got Mike Alfred underneath saying, at your age, homie. Look, 𝗕𝗘𝗟𝗢𝗟, very, very smart guy, but the question is he just a VC that got in early and is looking to dump his bags on you? Well, we can use the charts to see. He believes that Aptos is going to completely outperform and overtake in market cap as well Solana. So he believes it's the next Solana, bigger, better, stronger. What does the chart suggest? Well, right now the chart suggests that what Mike Alfred has to say, basically, that this is on its way down. It's not looking good, bruv. Not looking good. Let's say have a moment of silence for Aptos.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Okay, cool. Moment of silence complete for Aptos. Now, how would this start to flip bullish? This is kind of a sloppy chart, all over the place. We will keep an eye out on Aptos because I don't want to fade 𝗕𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗟. I do think he's pretty smart. But let's watch for something like this, possibly back into the zone. At the end of the day, there's such a thing as opportunity cost. Even if you happen to buy the exact low over here, I think that this is probably going to continue to range for a long time before it starts to mark up and get those types of moves that you see in Solana, right? Or what Solana's already done recently. So that's my thoughts on Aptos. If you are listening to 𝗕𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗟, that's what I think. I think wait for a longer term trend to form over here, or at least, a longer term consolidation to forming a nice base, because it just came off of a massive decline, right? From top to bottom over here, this has been smacked all the way down 77.74% and to current levels just shy of 70% from top to bottom. And it takes time, right? It takes time to reconsolidate, form a new base, and then push towards the upside. So that's that over there. Let's have a look at Casper, because we've been eyeing it out, approaching the key level over here. This has been one of the stronger coins. Look, let's see how this candle forms today, but I would love to see it come down into 14. This is your mid-range level. This is a much, much healthier chart than a lot of the coins out there. 𝗬𝗓, here we're following 𝗬𝗓. Possible higher low in the making. Let's keep an eye on it. Solana needs to get moving, leading into the Breakpoint conference, which is coming up very, very, very soon. Let's analyze as Solana moves up into the next zone. Should it even get the bounce? If it does bounce and it comes into Breakpoint hitting the mid-range, I think that's probably a profit-taking zone. If it gets that exciting that somehow magically it ends up near the range high, well, that's going to be your next profit-taking zone on Solana. All right, Injective. Let's have a look at Injective. Okay, I think Injective was putting in no bullish divergence yet on Injective, but there were a couple of others. Let's quickly see Say over here, not Say. Let's see Lithium. How's this one looking? No bullish divergence on that. I was having a look at the charts today. I did drop it in Whale Room. There was some bullish divergence taking place. One that I dropped in Whale Room was Brett, right? Have a look at this. You got triple bullish divergence taking place over here, which is quite rare. Most of the time you get double bullish divergence and the chart starts to move. Here you got triple bullish divergence, lower lows, but momentum oscillator moving up with higher highs. I do think this is one to watch coming into the 50% level, which is the inefficiency of that wick, which is focuses, of course, on Brett. And if you do focus on the meme coin sector specifically, well, if you look at this from Murad, looking back at the 30-day, 90-day, and Q2 onwards performance of the Solana meme coins, you know, Popcat and Giga, he says, are the only ones that are positive on all three timeframes. And we always say on this channel, at least on my show, long relative strength, right? This shows you relative strength in Giga, in Popcat. You can say Brainlet as well, not around as long, only 30 days worth of price history over here, but this one is also one that's up. You have Hammy up slightly over the Q2 performance. You have, I don't even know what this one is, 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕 also up slightly, and WIF up 34%, right? So could these be the next WIFs? The Giga and Popcat, it could be, right? So I think that's one that we should keep an eye out on. We can go to Giga over here. Let's have a look. I do think it's in an opportune area. It's very, very difficult to chart this one because it hasn't been around that long. So the TA is a little bit skewed. Popcat does have a little bit of a better looking chart in the sense that, you know, it has been higher highs and higher lows. I said worst case scenario, maybe it comes down to about 40 cents over there, and then you can look for an opportunity to get in on that. But be very, very careful, guys. Be very, very careful, because at the end of the day, I do want to remind you, the trends do remain down, and the risk comes back onto the table when Bitcoin gets above $65,000. Until it does that, it is a little bit of a tricky situation. And in Whale Room, we've actually been shorting Bitcoin, right? If you have a look over here, Chris dropped an amazing short trade over here. I also highlighted it coming off of the 50 EMA and rejecting off that key level was a significant zone. And there's the short trade over there, but looking to flip long back at the range lows. So constant profits up 84% on that trade. Remember, I'm not the only trader there. Look at this in Whale Room. There's tons of information over here from all of the various different traders. You also have Farouk dropping his trades. What is he looking at today? Let's have a look. Farouk is looking, okay, he's looking at Popcat. Perfect. After I just showcased Popcat, looking at Popcat as well as BTC coming into those zones. Use the link in the description below if you guys do want to join into Whale Room. And then let's have a look at a couple of different coins, right? So a lot of the coins are getting absolutely annihilated. I'm going to highlight in just quickly in terms of the layer ones, some of the ones that look terrible, right? Zeta, this is quite literally trending towards zero. I mean, it's been nothing but down, right? Zeta getting absolutely hammered over there. The other one that I wanted to highlight, AVAX, also still not looking too good. Any bullish divergence? No bullish divergence on AVAX. If we go through to DOT also getting smacked. Bullish divergence on DOT. You actually do have bullish divergence over here, and you are coming into the prior area where you deviated and swept the range lows, and that occurred within this region over here, and that led to the next big move up. So if you are looking for at least a range trade opportunity, that could be one to look out for. Look at DOT over here. If it can reclaim back in based off the bullish divergence over here, you might get a little bit of a move. The other one that's terrible, Atom, right? Let's see, Atom, absolutely horrendous. No bullish divergence on Atom. The next level of major support comes all the way down here at $2.37. I can actually showcase to you why. There it is. That's your next key level. It's flipped what was previous major support into major resistance, and it's just marking down. This one's getting killed. The other one that's bad is Matic, right? Let's see any bullish divergence on Matic. No bullish divergence on Matic. This one, just like Atom, is getting totally smacked. These are layer ones that you probably don't want to be holding, right? As the thumbnail suggests, you probably want to start to look to at least reposition these into other coins, or do not add into losers like this. That's at the very, very least. Do not add into these losers. Do not buy more of them. Literally just sit on your hands and leave it. Maybe by some miracle, we go into the major markup phase like we showcased over here into candle 4 and then candle 1. And you can at least get out of those with break even or slight profit, right? So keep an eye out on that. That's one thing that I would suggest. The other thing is rather choose to allocate your new capital into coins that do look stronger. And if you want to take the safety even one step further, all you have to do is before you allocate into the coins that are strong, wait for Bitcoin to break above $65,000. Next week, it will be a different level because remember, it's lower lows and lower highs. And we consider a market structure shift or break of structure when we create a new higher high and then come back to create the next higher low, which means it will take a little bit of time, right? It will take a little bit of time before we shift back into bullish price action. So again, just highlighting, you know, some of those weak ones that we just looked at. Like, let's go to DOT. We'll look at DOT. We'll look at let's go to DOT, Matic, AVAX, and Zeta, if it's even on here. Let's look at Zeta. So Zeta, let's grab it over here if it is even on here. Zeta, I don't know if it's on here. Zeta. There we go. Zeta chain against Bitcoin. That's what it looks like. That's what the chart looks like. That is absolutely shocking. You're better off holding Bitcoin, right? DOT, this is where you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you would have been wrecked on DOT. Look at that, straight towards the downside. The other one that we said we'd look at is Matic. Let's have a look at Matic. Also, really, really bad. Matic straight towards the downside. What was the other one that we mentioned? I think there was one more. Atom. We said we have to look at Atom, right? We have to look at Atom. Let's put it in. Is it labeled Atom or Cosmos? Okay, Cosmos Hub, Atom. There we go, against Bitcoin. That's what your chart looks like, nose diving all the way to the bottom. So be careful. I can make the argument maybe for DOT, you know, as a deviation play. That could be a trade, but long term, you know, if you're holding these coins, they are simply just tanking towards the downside. So again, guys, I'll remind you, jump into the group. There is plenty of traders over there, and it's the words that I gave the guys earlier on this morning over here. I did also drop another trade. I said, just popping in to remind you all, mindset is everything, guys. Remember, keep a positive mind. Focus during the flat times. Millionaires are made whilst no one else is grinding. Remember to be where others aren't. You have to do what others won't, and others don't want to be here right now. They don't want to be here. So that's it from me. I'll see you all again tomorrow, because I am here every day except for Sunday. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Have a great day, and cheers for now.